Now, similar to the last time I did a prediction video, and it's pretty much going to be something that will always be a rule setup when I do prediction videos in times like this in the series, that when we're in an area between arcs, my predictions, I'm never going to try and predict the transitionary chapter where it could be like something silly. Again, they had like the Fairy Nail chapter, and like there was no way I think anybody would have predicted, like, yeah, on the way over they're going to find a kind of pseudo copy guild where it's more of like a meme alternate take on, not even alternate take, it's pretty much literally just memeing on some of the characters. But outside of that, I want to actually do my theories and predictions on stuff that I think is actually likely to happen in terms of like the plot and story, because again, silly little fun chapters like that, like how am I supposed to predict anything like that? Anyway, the cast right now, after just that last panel, we're like, oh yeah, you know, we're gonna go see Eleftheria and kind of like report what's going on in the situation with Selene, and pretty much try and look for any new leads we can with the quest. And we know that that is in direct kind of pathway of Diablo's members going to the, pretty much being sent to go and take down Eleftheria as well by Selene. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a weird confrontation because they, like, the damage for them potentially is higher than what it could be. As if it's just like these four, okay, yeah, like Suzaku obviously is really strong, but if they run into him again, they'll have like a fresh Urza, like full magic up. She's gonna be ready, and you're gonna have Natsu, who I would hope would take Suzaku more seriously and not try and fight him in base form. It's like if he wasn't in his base form, I'm sure he would have been just fine battling this dude. But as it were, there is the potential that the other members of the Black Dragon Slayer Knights are going to be there, and that's more of like the danger up and coming, because with Suzaku, how strong he is, and I don't think that's like Suzaku is undefeatable by like people like Natsu and Urza. I think like with Urza, he's way stronger, but it's not like he's some unreachable wall. Whereas with Natsu, if Natsu like went to Dragon Force, I think Natsu would have been fine. I think like Suzaku or Natsu, like Fire Dragon King mode, Natsu is probably around equal to Suzaku. And, you know, talking about like their Dragon Forces is kind of weird because, you know, 5th gen has different rules essentially of how it works. I mean, it's essentially the same thing, obviously, of how Dragon Force works, but it's just a different process, you know, just way faster, but way more uncontrolled than normal Dragon Force. But if the Black Dragon Slayer Knights are all there on top of the Diablo's main trio, I don't really see what the main cast can do. But it's not like they have suddenly like Laxus and Jalal or Gajil teaming up with them. There is the possibility of more characters showing up. Like Mishima did say that Gildarts and Sabretooth are going to like play a role in 100 Years Quest at some point. But I don't really know exactly what at least those three would do majorly against the Black Dragon Slayers. Because if there's three more, like you have 7 of like the Diablos members. Probably the 7 strongest. I guess like 4 strongest plus the main trio. Scoleon's the only other one that I'd say is like really strong out of them, because Kiri and Madmol are tough, but they're not. They don't have that same level of danger as people like Scoleon or Suzaku have. Either way, if you just add the 2 of them, or sorry, 3 of them, like Sting, Rogue, and Gildarts, Sting and Rogue would end up fighting together, so that's like one opponent. Gildarts would probably fight one or. Yeah, Gildarts fought 2 opponents, I wouldn't be surprised, but you'd have to split them up to make sure that each of them are really preoccupied with them. And like Kiria, I assume, would go against Urza, so Natsu's only option is Suzaku. Gray probably against Scoleon for that rematch. And then Madmol, I don't know, maybe Madmol fights Lucy? Like, some of the matches would be kind of strange. And then the other Black Dragon Slayer Knights. Maybe Gildarts versus 2, maybe Sting and Rogue versus 1. Actually, that'd be kind of cool. That'd be just to have, like, you know, 2v1 in, like, 2 opposite scenarios. Either way, like, that matchup, I guess those multiple matchups, have a lot of hype potential. I would rather see a battle before they get there. I guess Eleftheria would end up siding with the Fairy Tail cast, because like he's going to want to go with the guys that aren't trying to murder him. So Eleftheria could probably take one of them. And, you know, he's definitely strong. I don't know how strong he is. We have no real kind of gauge to level him out against other characters. I mean, like, the Law Dragon is kind of weird. I mean, I don't really know what he's going to do. I'm kind of hoping he does something kind of like with Freed's runes. Like, maybe he just can put up dragon rules as he's fighting, like, mid-combat. That'd be super sick. So, we'll see where that kind of falls under. The stuff with Selene sending them into, you know, going after Eleftheria is really cool. And I really am enjoying what Mishima is doing with Selene. My only question right now is, like, what is like the plan that is going to play out after, like, killing Eleftheria? Because obviously Eleftheria is like a direct core aspect of, like, the 100 Years quest and going after the dragon gods. But you'd think that she'd send them to, I guess he is technically a dragon, so she's gonna want to kill him because he's not on her side as well. So I would assume that she would go try and get any information that she can also, because with Viernes, I assume she knows where Viernes is and knows some information about Viernes, but that's obviously an assumption, because otherwise, like, how does anybody know where he is if Selene doesn't? Because Mercephobia didn't know. We don't know if Eleftheria knows, and those are, like, the only other two people that have the possibility of really knowing, other than maybe Ignia. Like, I would assume only characters of that caliber could know anything about Viernes, and Ignia isn't a cooperative character. I really don't see Ignia being like, yeah, let me help you with whatever your plan is. He'd probably just tell him to, like, fuck off and then get ready to kill him. He's the one that would be, like, more dangerous for, like, all these characters to go up against, because with him, he's not going to, like, he would be kind of like how Selene was to Georg. Like, Ignia's gonna just want to be on murder time at all points in the day. Dude doesn't like to chill as much. But anyway, that whole setup, definitely really hype. I want to see what Mishima's got planned for pretty much all of, like, the Diablos stuff. The Diablos members and being under Selene is a really cool plot twist, and I can't wait to see the other Black Dragon Slayer Knights. Like, for me, a big wish list of a chapter would be if we didn't get the main cast there until a bit later, and, like, the next chapter was the main Diablos trio with the 4 Black Dragon Slayer Knights showing up and fighting Eleftheria and seeing what Eleftheria can do. And Eleftheria, I would want him to put up a fight, but I don't think that he would be able to take on 7 of those characters all at the same time. Like, put up a fight and resist, but I don't think he could defeat them, especially knowing how powerful Suzaku is by himself. Times that by 4 and add the Diablos trio in there. Like, that's just a dangerous situation for him. Because people like the Dragon Gods, sure, like, they should be fine against those characters, but Eleftheria, again, is a big question mark for, like, how strong he is. We have no real idea. Anyway, yeah, that's mostly it for me. Like, the chapter is obviously going to, like, differ if it's a transitionary chapter, if we're going to get something kind of more silly and fun. I would hope, though, that we would get the Diablos members to Eleftheria before we end up getting, like, the Fairy Tail members. Like, the best scenario, like, for me, would be chapter 93. We get the main cast showing up to help Eleftheria, and then, like, fights kind of start to get paired off. And then maybe some other characters show up again. You know, question mark, Sabretooth, and Gildarts, you know, who knows. Either way, thumbs up the video. I'd really appreciate it if you would comment below. Thumbs up the video, friend the like button, subscribe button, check out my other videos. But that, appreciate it. When we started subscribing, thank you all for listening. Bye.